Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring Romanticism.
Ooh, romanticism.
Yeah, and it's more than just like love poems and flowers and stuff. It was
Right.
a whole artistic movement. It was like a reaction to the massive changes happening back then. We're talking about the Industrial Revolution.
Exactly. We're talking about factories, urbanization.
Smokestacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technology was like booming all over the place.
A whole new world was being born.
It was a whole new world, and, not everyone was thrilled about it.
Right. I mean, think about it. If you were living back then, going from a quiet rural life
Mm.
to like these crowded, smoky cities.
Yeah, totally. And there was this big emphasis on reason and science.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was all about progress, and, maybe people started to feel a bit disconnected
Disconnected.
from nature,
Yeah. And from their own emotions.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, like, how did this kind of longing for something more, how did that actually show up in the art and literature from that time? It became all about expressing those emotions, like
Yeah.
grand gestures, big feelings.
Right.
It was all about the individual, like Wordsworth, for example.
Oh, yeah, Wordsworth, the nature guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he wasn't just looking at clouds,
All
right?
right.
He was tapping into like this deeper truth about the human experience.
Hmm.
He said, and this is a great quote, observing nature unlocks the still, sad music of humanity.
Whoa. The still sad music of humanity. That's pretty powerful. It sounds like these romantic poets were like using nature as a mirror to reflect their own inner worlds.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about quiet reflection either.
Oh, so there's more.
Yeah. Romanticism embraced every emotion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're talking joy, love, melancholy,
Yeah.
even terror.
Terror. What do you mean?
I mean, like when they were confronted with the raw power of nature,
Oh, right.
the sublime.
Like a huge thunderstorm or something.
Exactly, like a massive thunderstorm, a raging ocean, things that make you feel small and insignificant.
Wow, I get it. And we see this in Keats, right? I'm thinking of Ode to a Nightingale.
Yes. Perfect example. He uses the bird song to talk about like mortality and beauty.
Right, right.
Deep stuff.
Yeah. So it's not just pretty words.
No, not at all. It shows how romantics found deeper meaning in nature,
Yeah.
but it's also about imagination,
Yeah.
your own unique personal experience.
So was it sort of like a rebellion against being too rational? Like they wanted to bring back feeling and intuition.
Exactly. It was a pushback against the idea that science and reason had all the answers.
Oh, interesting.
Romantics believed that imagination and intuition were just as important, for understanding the world and ourselves.
So they weren't saying like get rid of all the new technology,
Oh, no, not at
like
all.
just trying to find a balance.
Yeah, between, the head and the heart.
Right. It's like they were saying, okay, we can move forward with all this progress, but let's not forget about the beauty and wonder and all the emotions we feel when we connect with nature.
You got it.
Okay, cool. So this focus on individual experience,
Mm.
did that play into their fascination with exotic places and far-off cultures?
Absolutely. They were drawn to anything that represented freedom from society's rules,
Right.
a chance to experience life more fully.
Okay, yeah.
Like Lord Byron, for example.
Oh, yeah, the adventurous Lord Byron.
Exactly. His adventures, his like mystique.
Yeah, yeah.
That was all very romantic.
So these distant lands, they were like symbols of a world that hadn't been touched by industrialization.
Right. Places where nature still reigned supreme.
That makes sense. It sounds like Romanticism offered a kind of escape then,
In a way,
an
yeah.
antidote to all the pressures of a rapidly changing world.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
And maybe that's why it still speaks to us today, right?
Yeah.
Even in our crazy tech-filled world, we all kind of crave those moments of connection,
Connection with what?
with nature, with ourselves, with something bigger than us.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, think about it. Taking a walk in the park, just sitting quietly for a bit,
Right?
or even just getting lost in a good book.
That's a good one.
Maybe those things can help us reconnect with that romantic spirit, that sense of wonder and possibility. What do you think?
Absolutely. And maybe it encourages us to use our own imaginations, see the world in new ways, maybe even create something beautiful ourselves.
That's a great thought. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Romanticism.
It's been a pleasure.
To all our listeners out there, we encourage you to check out some romantic poetry. You might be surprised how much it resonates with you even today.
You might even find yourself inspired.
A great place to start would be Wordsworth's Tintern Abbey. A beautiful reflection on nature and the passing of time.
It's a classic for a reason.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep those romantic spirits alive.
See you then.
Bye!
Bye!